Kahala Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakadash. Shalom to the elect, all right, around the four corners of the earth. Although you may not know who you are, the Lord knows who you are. And Lord willing, I get to be a part of that number. Shalom to the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elders and bishops. And shalom to all you brothers who are doing the work in sincerity. All right, who are doing the work in sincerity and who are rightly dividing the word of truth. So I'm coming back at it again with another video. As you can see the title, See Trump Shut Down COVID-19 Vaccine Skeptic. And the reason why I'm bringing this out is because it is of my opinion, and from what I can see, that Donald Trump is going to come back into office, and he's going to win with flying colors. The Republicans are going to sweep the House, sweep the Senate, and sweep Congress, and they're going to sweep the Supreme Court. Why? Because it was the agenda of the left, of the blue, right? Because both have the same agenda. It was up to the left to bring America, Babylon, down to its knees, bring it down crawling. All right, print money like there was like there's no tomorrow, debasing the currency. Right? It is, in my opinion, that we could definitely well see Biden issue another lockdown, which at this point, America can't handle another lockdown. We go under another lockdown, that's it. So when Trump comes, by the time America is on its knees, now Trump comes with a sword, getting ready to decapitate you. And the reason why I say that is because on the onset of this pandemic, you can see that Trump has been down with the program the entire time. If I'm not mistaken, it was Trump that told the American people that they should get vaccinated first before it was the left, Joe Biden. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Trump that went on TV and showed himself getting a shot. All right? If I'm not mistaken. It was Trump that put in Operation Warp Speed to allow the Coast Guard or the National Guard and FEMA to help assist in vaccinations. That's signed in the law, being set aside to be used at a later date and time. All right? And the reason why I say this is because that's what I would do. If I was an elite, that's what I would do. Here it is, we got a boogeyman, right? We got a boogeyman named Biden. He's the bad guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's old. He's a bumbling fool, right? And he caused the collapse of the economy. So now who's going to bring the solution? Now we have the almighty savior, all right, who these Republicans, these Edomites look up to, Donald J. Trump, right? And they will be so in love with him and so infatuated with him that they will follow him blindly. Well, if Trump got vaccinated, well, then I should get vaccinated. Trump would never steer me wrong. Trump is the good guy. Biden is the bad guy. Trump is coming to destroy all the pedophiles and all the satanic rings. When really this nigga is at the top dealing with witchcraft on the highest level, dealing with the rabbins, the rabbis on the highest level, right? And he's taking orders directly from, and Trump said it. He said that there are people that are so rich, they're so wealthy, you don't even know that they exist. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you that video in a second. All right. It's shit like this that got Lincoln assassinated. Even Reagan, they even had an attempt on his life. Let's listen.
Women are, I don't know, they never say middle women, so they're politically not correct. But I've heard the term middlemen for a long women are, I don't know, they never say middle women, so they're politically not correct. But I've heard the term middlemen for a long time. They are so wealthy. They are so wealthy. Nobody has any idea who the hell they are, what they do. They make more money than the drug companies. You know, in all fairness, at least the drug companies have to produce a product, and it has to be a good product. But the middlemen, well, the rebate that I'm doing cuts out the middlemen and it reduces costs, and the money goes back to the people purchasing the drugs. So I have a lot of enemies out there. This may be the last time you'll see me for a while. A lot of very, very rich enemies, but they are not happy with what I'm doing. But I figure we have one chance to do it, and no other president's going to do what I do. No other president would do a favored nations, a rebate, a buy from other.
Let's listen to that again.
They are so wealthy, nobody has any idea who they say middle women, so they're politically not correct. But I've heard the term middlemen for a long time. They are so wealthy. They are so wealthy, nobody has any idea who the hell they are, what they do. They make more money than the drug companies. You know, in all fairness, at least the drug companies have to produce a product, and it has to be a good product. But the middlemen, well, the rebate that I'm doing cuts out the middlemen and it reduces costs, and the money goes back to the people purchasing the drugs. So I have a lot of enemies out there. This may be the last time you'll see me for a while. A lot of very, very rich enemies, but they are not happy with what I'm doing. But I figure we have one chance to do it, and no other president's going to do what I do. No other president would do a favored nations, a rebate, a buy from other nations at much less cost. Nobody. And there are a lot of unhappy people, and they're very rich people, and they're very unhappy.
These are the people that Trump is being controlled by. And if he really was against the system, he would have been like John F. Kennedy right now. He would have been assassinated a long time ago. All right? So I'm just letting you guys know, you Edomites out there that think Trump is going to be your savior. No, he's going to be the guy that lulls you to sleep and says, you can trust in me. I will be your savior. And what does he have? He has a machete behind his back, ready to cut out your spine. So without further ado,
is Donald Trump no longer lockstep with his base? If you need proof that his call and response relationship of those 2016 rallies isn't what it once was, take a look at this.
Yeah, more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
that's a lie.
Traditional political wisdom is to play up your accomplishments, and the vaccines certainly are that for Trump. So the advice he's getting directly from people like Bill O'Reilly makes perfect sense to me.
I told him that today. He called me. And I said, this is good for you. This is good that people see another side of you, not a political side. You told the truth. You believe in the vax. Your administration did it. And you should take credit for it because it did save, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of lives. Hundreds of thousands of lives.
But just this week, O'Reilly saw firsthand that some Trump loyalists don't like hearing that he got the booster.
Uh-oh.
Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too. Okay, so...
Don't. That's all right. There's a very tiny group over there.
You see that? He's getting booed. You see how his own loyalist base feels betrayed. They already feel betrayed. They're like, wait. Trump, you're down with the New World Order? You're down with the mark? You're down with the Charagma? I thought you were against all this. I thought you were going to stand for righteousness. And what did he end up showing you? He ended up showing you, no, I'm just a different head of the same snake, man. Take the poison.
Scott Jennings joins me now to dissect. What's going on here, Scott?
Well, I think President Trump, first of all, should be credited for saying the right thing. And I think to be fair to him, he has said this throughout the year, not as forcefully as he had in the past week, but in February, everybody get your shot. March, I would recommend it. April, the vaccine is a great thing. July, I recommend you take it. August, once you get the vaccine, you get better. So throughout the year, since he left office, he has said the right thing on the vaccine. What's true this week, I think, Michael, is that it's been far more forceful, and it's been done in the face of some booing, and it was done in an interview in which the interviewer, Candace Owens, was about to unfurl a massive conspiracy theory and misinformation about the vaccine, and he interrupted her, and he stopped her, and he corrected her, and he forcefully made the case for the vaccine. That's what's different is the...
You know what? He's going to make he's going to forcefully, what did he say? What did he say? Hold on.
The vaccine, and he interrupted her, and he stopped her, and he corrected her, and he forcefully made the case for the vaccine.
He's going to forcefully make the case for the vaccine when he comes into office and he wins by a landslide, and and all his supporters support him, and he comes with the military to your house.
That's what's different, is the forceful nature of it. And I think, frankly, it's because he sees advantage in this. He
sees advantage in it because why? He still has to pander to his daddy upstairs called Rothschild. And other men, you see, and the Rothschilds are just a front too. They're a front as well. Yeah, they're high up there, but there's people behind them. Real people who rule the world, you don't know them. You don't know their names. You don't know who their families are. You don't know anything about them. The Rothschilds is just like a McDonald's. That's just what they put in front of you. That's for you just to draw all your attention to. Oh, Rothschild. Oh, look at them. Oh, no, man.
Joe Biden is failing. He thinks he's flailing. He thinks there's room.
So he's saying that, hey, Biden is failing in the New World Order's agenda to get everybody jabbed and karagmud.
Run politically, and he is taking advantage of it.
I don't question the legitimacy of your citations. I just wish he had been doing this all along. And politically speaking, I've always thought it was the stronger play. That base is not going to abandon him. And why wouldn't he take credit for what is arguably the greatest accomplishment that occurred on his watch?
As he's apparently set that fear aside, and he's decided to be more forceful about something on which his base feels very passionate, which is, this vaccine hesitancy or anti-vaccination altogether. So it's noteworthy that he is standing up to them and trying to lead them. Now, the question is, will it cause anybody to change their behavior? I've always been skeptical that people who don't want the vaccine today are waiting for any politician to tell them what to do or to get medical advice from a politician. But it is a good thing that he's saying what he's saying, and he's not allowing himself to be led down a very, very negative road when it comes to this point she was making. Well, people took the vaccine, more people are dying. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's bunk. He knows it, and it was good that
he ought to be speaking more about this issue in the very manner that he did, and not another issue for which we're going to see an anniversary in the first week of June.
It's interesting there. He is touting the vaccine's efficacy and safety, but at the same time saying, but it's still your choice. I mean, still trying to have it both ways.
Yeah, Erica, for sure, former President Trump trying to thread the needle there. This message that vaccines work is one that public health officials, scientists, the current administration had wished for months that the former president took. They wished he'd taken that position when he was the president and when so many of these public were set. That's become a huge cultural divide, right? Right now, the former president is obviously trying to take advantage of the fact that those vaccines were made during his presidency. He's trying to position himself as someone who saved lives. He's trying to position President Biden as being responsible for COVID deaths right now, but he's not acknowledging the role that he took for months in kind of downplaying the vaccine or downplaying the virus itself. The other thing that's going on is that research is showing increasingly a split. And what it's showing is that people who live in counties that voted for former President Trump are much more likely, like 2 to 3 times more likely to die from deaths related to COVID-19. And so there is both the former presidency's a political opportunity to hurt the sitting president, but also to try to rehab his own image and reputation the way history or even the current kind of living history remembers his role or understands his role. And the truth is that in downplaying the vaccines and the virus for many, many months, he helped set many of the patterns that have led to this bifurcation now that's made it harder to put the pandemic under control.
Yeah, and perhaps one of the best examples of that we saw earlier this week when he said he was boosted and was booed by that crowd that was there to see him. Now,
the reason why that happened, because they feel betrayed. You feel betrayed. You thought you could trust this man. So when he comes into office, he's going to come down with the same agenda, and he's going to come down even harder than Biden did.
else is fascinating to me too is you have this new Axios poll out, which looks at whether people trust information from the federal government, and the drop in that number among unvaccinated individuals. There's clearly a connection there, Margaret.
It's very striking. Our survey found that among unvaccinated Americans, trust in the federal government dropped from 43% in the first half of the year to 20% in the second half of the year. And among white unvaccinated Americans, the drop was even lower, down to 15%. Some of that is because the pool of unvaccinated is more concentratedly against the vaccine, right? I mean, if you were unvaccinated in June, maybe you just weren't sure, but you finally did it. If you're unvaccinated now, you've made a conscientious choice. You are dug in, you are one of the hard resistors. But
so the reason why they say it, because because what shot are they on now? The government's looking at all this data, and they're like, okay, so we're on shot number 5 or 4. What's gonna happen when we start getting to shot 6, 7, 8, and 9? And you still got individuals that are still on 0. Ain't nothing happened to them. They're perfectly healthy. They're perfectly fine. And they have 0 shots. Everybody else is on 9. That is a clear indication that, okay, if you haven't gotten 1 by now, you're clearly never going to get any of the shots. You know what I'm saying? And it's causing a division. And this is what, and that prophecy alone is what's going, the prophecy of the mark, the MOTB, that prophecy alone is what's going to cause the book of Revelation to actually happen before your very eyes. That is the fuse to the bomb or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Light that fuse and all hell will begin. Because when we talk about civil war, we talk about sedition among men. We talk about men robbing one another, killing one another. We talk about men delivering each other up to the judges, to the officials, to be killed, being thrown into prison, all right, and getting your head chopped off at these concentration camps that they have prepared for us. This is what's going to cause it all to happen. And as a matter of fact, I wanted to speak on an experience that I had where sometimes you guys might see this. Here in Oregon, they're very anal about masks and stuff. So it's always relieving when you see Edomites, go into the store, because obviously as a brother, they automatically think as a brother, you're carrying the disease. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, black people, oh, Negroes, you know what I'm saying? And if I didn't state this earlier, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the scriptures. But it's always refreshing to see when you see like an Edomite woman or Edomite man or whoever go into a store, everybody has their mask on and they just say F you to the mask and they just walk around shopping. That's already causing social problems and division in America, because even on that, now you have people and men secretly thinking in their heads like, yeah, stand up for your rights. Yeah, don't wear a fucking mask. Fuck the government. Meanwhile, you're over here too afraid to take down your mask because you don't want to get kicked out the store. But you applaud those that have enough courage to stand up. And then you have those on the opposite side that look at you sideways and look at you as a walking disease. And they want to snitch to the store clerk. They want to snitch to the security guards. And that's what they're going to have, especially under the leadership of Donald J. Trump when he becomes a dictator. All right? People, you're going to have that SS Gestapo shit, like in Nazi Germany, where you have people just snitching on one another, on each other. I heard that he didn't get his booster. He didn't walk out with his mask on. You didn't get your 7th shot. If you don't get it, I'm a snitch to the authorities. You're online making posts that are against the agenda.
That trust level is so low. The other really, really interesting thing that we found in the survey is that these two groups of unvaccinated Americans, Republicans and Black Americans, behave.
Black America. And they already said this from the onset. They said that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the #1 people who need to get this vaccination first. And that was on RT News. So we already know that they're setting up the children of Israel.
Very differently. Overwhelmingly, Black Americans who have decided not to take the vaccine are wearing masks, do take the science seriously, are very worried about the virus, are trying to social distance. This other group, Americans who identify as Republicans, much less likely to wear masks.
Well, she won't say white people. She won't say white people, but they're saying white people, gun-toting white people, talking about my Second Amendment right. They ain't down with the shit.
Much less likely to social distance, still much more likely to say they have returned to normal life. And that presents a real challenge for public health officials.
Like places in Florida.
Trying to get things under control in the age of Omicron.
Yeah, absolutely. And also circles back to what we were just talking about.